Nobody signs up to end up having a dependency on opioids. I was first exposed to opioids after different surgeries I had. And while that wasn't what kept me on them for a long period of time, I remember thinking that it was something I liked. So when I did actually come down with an illness, which was a rare illness but caused me a lot of body pain, I was sent to pain management doctors, and they put me on just loads of prescriptions. Started on Percocets, and then they upped my dose the following month, and then I went to Oxys, and I remember thinking that I could take more of the Oxys because they didn't have Tylenol in them and things like that. I realized then, even though I was probably in some denial, that I was already kind of beginning to fall down a bit of a rabbit hole. It got a hold of me pretty quickly. I was short every month on my pills. I remember at that point, I started to become someone that I didn't recognize because I lied. I would substitute other pills that looked like the pills I was being prescribed, so when then they counted them, it looked like I had more than I did. And then I would go through awful withdrawal. So, unless I found another way to get them, sometimes I bought them, sometimes I stole them from people I knew that had them, and that was just not who I was and who I was becoming. I tried to overcome the dependency with my doctor's help, which was basically, let's wean you off, and that did not work for me. And I thought, wow, every 2 weeks now they're going to reduce my dose and I'm going to go through withdrawal. And it's awful, scary, nothing that anybody who knows what it's like wants to go through. It's painful, it's mentally exhausting. It was like something took over and told me, this is what you're going to do, and today you're going to do this, and today you're going to take this many, and we're going to find them, and we're going to figure it out, and you're not going to feel bad anymore. So I was definitely circling the drain at that point. I never went to rehab or tried any other detox, so I was just working on trying to wean, and then it clearly didn't work for me. So desperate for me was feeling like I can't do it. And my brain was consistently abiding in that. I just didn't think I could do it. I know that maybe not everyone has what they think is a rock bottom moment, but I will say that a rock bottom moment doesn't have to be something life-threatening. It can be, for me, it started when I became less of a mother to my children, and everything I had done to raise my kids and give them what I thought was a great life, and being a wonderful mother and being the room parent at their school and all the things I did, I became absent. My personality was different. I lost friends. I did some very strange things, including talking to myself a lot. I mean, my kids would ask me to go on a bike ride. I just didn't have the energy to do it. It just consumed me. So it was just a dark place to be. Then I did have a life-threatening moment where I overdosed, and I woke up in a hospital 3 hours from my home, and I didn't know how I got there. It took a little bit of time for it to come back, but it was a shocking moment for me, and I realized at that time that I needed to do something. So my cousin, who came to stay with me to help me through some of these dark times, she started a Google search, and she's the one that found ANR, and she said, I see a couple different detox things on here, but I think that ANR looks like it would be really good for you. And then on a wing and a prayer, I called their office and found out more information, and when they said, I went through the process of being approved for it, and when they told me that my birthday was available, I said, sign me up. I want to do it on my birthday. So that was my 50th birthday present to myself. I didn't want to be a number. My own aunt passed away 2 summers ago from a heroin and fentanyl overdose, and I thought, I cannot do that to my family. And I think the biggest thing for me was lighting the fire for me with my children, and just knowing that they knew what I had gone through and put them through, and the embarrassment of it all. I was totally ashamed of myself, and I was completely depressed, and I was like, I know that my life can be better. I know it can, and I gotta get back. I was definitely nervous and definitely had some fear around it, but I just thought, I can't look back. I've got to take a chance on something to make myself better. to change the direction of my life. The first phone call with the ANR staff got me excited. They were so sweet, so nice, answered every question, laughed with me, cried with me. They could feel this passion and desire in my voice, I think, maybe, that I really wanted this. Because I remember when I was offered 2 different dates, and one was happening to be my birthday, that someone called me at the end of the day before I would have originally found out that I could have that day. And she said, I just want to let you know, you're in and you can have that day if you want it. So I just felt a connection immediately. I felt safe. I remember flying there, and on the flight I remember thinking, okay, just leave it, just take that leap of faith and go. Just give it a chance. And when I got there, it was everything that ANR told me it would be. I was nervous. When I arrived the evening before the procedure, I don't think I slept much that night. And of course, the biggest fear for me is, am I gonna wake up and be sick? Am I gonna wake up and feel in withdrawal? How am I gonna feel about this? I woke up after the procedure, and they said, Taylor, wake up, you did great. And I remember saying, is it still today? They said, yes, it's still today. And I was exhausted. That changed very quickly for me by the next day. But when I woke up, my back was a little sore, my legs were sore, and I was really tired. The next morning, I woke up at 10:30, and sun was up, new day, and I started very small. I started walking the hallway a little bit, just little bits at a time, and right back to the bed. And then by that evening, I was discharged from the hospital. I went to my hotel. On my day 1 visit at my hotel, when John came, he asked me if I had any pills in the hotel room. Of course, I had a gazillion, but I didn't want them, thankfully. So I poured them all out on the bed, and he said, "Why'd you bring so many?" And I was like, "I don't know. I didn't know how this was going to go." And so I took a video of myself flushing a lot of the pills, not all of them, and then gave the rest to him to get rid of. But he hugged me after that, and I was, for the first time in a long time, I felt like someone was proud of me. And that just did it for me. I mean, gave me so much courage and so much strength to just keep going. And by the next day, I just did everything I was told. 10 minutes, not to do too much, just do a little exercise, a little walking, just get the movement going. And every day was better and better. And you just have to give yourself that time. Because I think at the beginning, you feel kind of like, oh my gosh, am I always gonna feel like this drained and this tired? And literally day by day, it just gets better and better. There's no comparison between withdrawal on your own and going through ANR. None. There's just nothing like this. I woke up, and 2 things resonated with me when I woke up. 1 was that I wasn't craving opioids, which was a big deal. And 2 was I looked at the clock and I wasn't worried about what time it was, because it used to be that when I left my house, I had to count my pills if I was going to be out a certain amount of time, because I knew I'd start to feel sick. I didn't have a certain amount of pills with me, and I was no longer attached to this time clock thing. So now for me, and you know, my kids are obviously the ones I feel like I let down the most. I've got friendships back, my kids, first and foremost. But what everyone tells me now, which I find interesting because I didn't realize that I looked like this, but everyone looks at me and says, you look happy now. And we got you back, and your personality's back. And then I used to be very outgoing and into things, and I just lost a lot of myself. I just really lost a lot of it myself. And to have my friends and my family, and especially my children, tell me how proud they are. Every card my kids write to me, whether it's birthday or Mother's Day or Christmas or something, they put, I'm so proud of you. Which is really amazing, because I feel like I should be the one telling them that. So I'm living my best life now.
I feel like you've become who you were before, and yeah, and I'm happy about that, because you're so nice and generous and caring, and like everyone who meets you and my friends love you.
After the procedure, it just seemed like there was a new light in her. Like, you know, she had gained back what she lost, and it was my mom again.